Hi everyone, I'm Helen from Susan's family. Today I'm bringing you the Chasing Waves top from Retro Nostalgia series. It's made up of the front body, back body, connection, collar edge and cuff edges. First, crochet the front and back bodies separately. Once completed, connect the corresponding areas of the body and shoulders. Then pick up stitches around the neckline to crochet the collar edge. Finally, pick up stitches around the armholes to crochet the cuff edges. Let's start with the front body. It's divided into 3 sections. First, crochet section 1. After completing it, cast on again to crochet section 2. Then join the 2 sections together and continue crocheting section 3 downward. First, crochet section 1. Start with a foundation chain. Then work back and forth along the foundation chain. During this process, you'll need to extend both sides. The stitches used include chain stitches, single crochets, half double crochets, double crochets, treble crochets and slip stitches. Now watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Here I'm actually using color segmented yarn for crocheting. This type of yarn has different starting color segments, so the finished effect will vary slightly. You can refer to the finished product for reference, or choose your preferred starting color segment based on personal preference. For convenience of watching, I'm using cotton yarn for this demonstration, with random colors. For specific yarn, color schemes and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and paper instructions. First, make a foundation chain. Hang the yarn properly with your left hand. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand. Make a knot with the yarn. The starting knot doesn't count as one stitch. Gently tighten it slightly. Follow the chart to crochet the corresponding number of chain stitches downward. Complete and make one beginning chain to start. Next, insert the hook into the second chain from the right. Note that the loop on the hook is not included. Count leftward, 1, 2. Pick up the top loop of the chain. 1 strand above. Work 1 slip stitch. Continue to pick up 1 strand on the top of the next chain. Work 12 slip stitches evenly. Pay attention not to make the slip stitches too tight. Keep the fabric flat after completing. Finish and crochet 5 transition chains downward. Skip 3 chain spaces underneath without working. Pick up 1 strand on the next chain. Work 1 single crochet. Then crochet 5 transition chains. Skip 3 chains without working. Pick up the next chain and work 1 single crochet. Work 3 slip stitches evenly. Now the starting chains are completed. At the same time, the first row is done. Proceed to crochet the second row. Chain 4 to start this round. These 4 chains count as 1 treble crochet. Turn the fabric. Pick up the braid on the edge slip stitch. Work 1 treble crochet. When crocheting on the wrong side of the previous row, the braid is located at the top left. Yarn over the hook twice. Insert the hook. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times. Once, twice, 3 times. Complete the treble crochet. Continue to pick up the braid on the adjacent slip stitch. Work 3 treble crochets. One stitch. 2 stitches. 3 stitches. Then pick up the left chain space and work. Work 1 single crochet in the space. Chain 5 as a transition. Next chain space. Work 1 single crochet. Chain 5 as a transition. Skip down 2 slip stitch positions on the left side. Pick up the next slip stitch braid. Work 1 single crochet. Chain 5 as a transition. Continue skipping 3 slip stitch positions to the left. Pick up the next slip stitch braid. Work 1 single crochet. Continue picking up slip stitch braids afterward. Correspondingly make 2 single crochets. Three half double crochets. Finish with 1 single crochet. Need to extend downward now? Continue working 18 chains. Once completed, the second row is done. Next, work the third row. Continue from the previous yarn tail. Make 1 beginning chain to start. Then move left to the second chain space. Pick up the top loop of the chains. Work 1 slip stitch into each stitch in sequence for 11 stitches. Afterward, work 5 chains for transition. Skip 3 chains moving left underneath. Pick up 1 position and work 1 single crochet. Then skip 2 chain spaces. Pick up 1 position and work 1 treble crochet. Then make 1 chain as a transition. Work into the stitches from the previous row below. Pick up the stitches respectively. Work 6 treble crochets correspondingly. Between each treble crochet, work 1 chain as a transition. When crocheting on the wrong side of the previous row, the stitches are located at the upper left. After completion, one single crochet position remains below. Skip this stitch. Pick up the chain space to the left. Work one single crochet. 5 chains. Continue with one single crochet in the adjacent chain space. 5 chains. Work one single crochet in the next chain space. Starting from the treble crochet position afterward. Pick up the stitches respectively. Work 4 treble crochets correspondingly. Work 1 chain as a transition between each stitch. Work 1 chain to continue after completing. Then pick up the adjacent position. This is where the beginning chain of the previous row is. Pick up both strands of the 4th chain. If you can't find the exact spot, you can also insert the hook into the chain space on the left adjacent. This is the position of the 4th chain in the beginning chain. Pick up both strands and work 1 treble crochet. One chain. Continue working 1 treble crochet in the same position. Now the 3rd row is completed. Work the 4th row downward. Chain 4 to start this row. Turn over. Pick up the stitch of the treble crochet on the edge downward. Work 1 treble crochet. Chain 2 between them afterward. Pick up the stitch of the treble crochet downward respectively. Correspondingly make treble crochet, chain 2 between each stitch. Skip the single crochet position. Pick up the chain space downward. Work 1 single crochet. Then chain 5. Work 1 single crochet in the next space. Continue to pick up the stitch of the treble crochet. Correspondingly make treble crochet, chain 2 as a transition between them. Leave the single crochet position unworked. Pick up the chain space. Work 1 single crochet. Chain 5. Skip 2 slip stitch positions to the left. Pick up the next slip stitch braid. Work 1 single crochet. Skip 1 slip stitch position downward. Pick up the next slip stitch braid. Work 1 half double crochet. Chain 2 as an interval afterward. Skip 1 slip stitch position downward. Pick up 1 stitch and work 1 double crochet. Chain 2. Continue skipping 1 slip stitch position. Pick up 1 stitch and work 1 treble crochet. Chain 2. Skip 1 slip stitch position afterward, down to the edge slip stitch. Correspondingly work 1 treble crochet. At this point, the 4th row is completed. Now work the 5th row. Make 3 beginning chains. Turn the fabric. Next pick up the left chain space. Work 3 double crochets. Down pick up the left treble crochet stitch. Work 1 single crochet. Continue picking up chain spaces afterward. Work 3 double crochets. Then pick up the double crochet stitch. Work 1 single crochet. Work 5 double crochets in the next space. Next pick up on the left side. The chain space of 5 chains. Work 1 single crochet. Then pick up chain spaces between treble crochets. Work corresponding number of double crochets. Pick up stitch at treble crochet position to work single crochet. When encountering the large space of 5 chains, correspondingly make 1 single crochet. Continue crocheting according to the chart below. Complete this single crochet. Continue down to the beginning chain position. Pick up both strands of the 4th chain. Work 3 double crochets. This completes the 5th row. It's time to cut the yarn. Before cutting the yarn, let's put together the dimensions first. Measure the height of rows 1-5 according to the chart. Make sure it corresponds to the chart. If the dimensions differ significantly, it's recommended to adjust your tension, or switch to a different hook size and recrochet. Once it fits properly, cut the yarn. Leave a little yarn tail. Cut off. Pull the yarn through and tighten. At this point, section 1 is completed. Continue crocheting section 2 downward. The method is similar to section 1. Start with a chain stitch. Crochet the corresponding number of chains. I've already started mine here. Chain 1 to begin. Then refer to the pattern to complete row 1. The remaining chains after completion don't need to be crocheted. Crochet row 2 downward. Chain 1 to begin. Turn. Then refer to the pattern to complete row 2. After completion, continue to follow the chart for row 3. Complete the last stitch. At this point, the starting chains are also completed. For rows 4-5 afterward, work back and forth by picking up the previous row. No new stitch techniques or methods are used. Just follow the chart to crochet. When finishing and working into the turning chain from the previous row, always insert the hook into the top 2 strands of the turning chain. Complete these 2 rows. After completion, crochet row 6. This row needs to be connected with section 1. Start with 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain. Then chain 2 as a transition. Turn. Continue downward following the chart to correspondingly make single crochets. Work chains in the corresponding amount between the single crochets. Keep crocheting until reaching the edge single crochet position. Here the edge single crochet is worked into the turning chain position from the previous row. Insert the hook into the top 2 strands of the beginning chain. Or insert the hook into the gap between the beginning chain and the adjacent double crochet. Then work chains in the corresponding amount. Then pick up section 1. Pick up the end of row position of the last row. Here are the two pieces. The texture of the fifth round is identical. Pick up the stitch of the edge double crochet. Make a single crochet. Then continue to pick up corresponding positions on section 1 to work single crochets and chains. Finally, pick up the third chain stitch of the beginning chain. Work 1 double crochet. At this point, row 6 is done. Here section 1 and section 2 are joined together. Take a look, everyone. Don't twist the chain stitch positions from before. The textures of the first 5 rows of the two pieces correspond. At this point, section 2 is completed. Don't cut the yarn here. Next, move on to section 3. Continue crocheting section 3 downward, following the positions of the first 2 sections. Work back and forth. First, continue with the previous yarn tail. Make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Turn, work 1 single crochet into the edge stitch. Then follow the chart for crocheting. When encountering chain stitch positions during the process, skip down 3 chain stitches. Pick up 1 strand of the next chain stitch. Work 1/2 double crochet. Continue with 5 chain stitches. Skip 3 chain stitch positions. Work 1 single crochet into the next stitch. 5 chain stitches. Then skip 3 chain stitches. Work slip stitches in the corresponding amount. The remaining side should be crocheted symmetrically to this side. Refer to the chart to complete the rest. The last single crochet can be worked into the chain space, or into the beginning chain position. I'm working into the space here. After completing this, row 1 is done. For row 2, continue crocheting according to the chart. When you encounter slip stitch positions, insert the hook into its braid. The remaining rows don't use new stitch techniques or methods. Just follow the chart to crochet. In the last row, some positions need to be left unworked. Pay attention to the positions while crocheting. If you need to join yarn during this process, you can tie a knot to join yarn. Here I'll demonstrate the method using a swatch. Pick up the new yarn. Note that since the actual project uses variegated yarn, when joining yarn, you can choose a segment with a similar color. I'm still using cotton yarn for demonstration here. Leave a long yarn tail for the new yarn, close to the fabric. Tie a knot with the previous yarn tail. Then continue crocheting downward. Leave the yarn tails for now. This is the method for joining yarn. After completing the last row, you need to fasten off yarn and weave in ends. Here I'll demonstrate the method using a swatch. Leave a bit of tail and fasten off yarn. Weave the yarn tail into the wrong side of the fabric. Here the right side of the last row is considered the right side of the entire piece, which is the side with neat stitch texture. You can weave in a few more stitches. For the remaining yarn tails, use the same method. Weave them into the wrong side of the fabric. Complete this part on your own. At this point, the crocheting of the front body is explained. Next, crochet the back body. The method is similar to the front body, but here you don't need to divide. Start by casting on the corresponding number of chains. Then work back and forth for the first 2 rows on one side. At the end of the second row, you need to extend. On the third row, crochet to a specific position on the other side of the starting chain. Then on the fourth row, pick up the stitches from the third row area. On the fifth row, crochet to the end of the starting chain. For the remaining rows, pick up above the fifth row and work back and forth. Just follow the chart for crocheting. Complete and fasten off the yarn while weaving in the ends. Similarly, use the right side of the last row as the right side of the entire piece. At this point, the crocheting of the back body is explained. The crocheting is done. Proceed to connect the pieces below. It is divided into body connection and shoulder connection. The joining method is the same for both, only the insertion position varies slightly. Here I will first explain the shoulder connection. Here, I'm demonstrating with a small swatch. Place the wrong sides of the front and back bodies together, with the right sides facing outward. I place the front body in front and the back body behind. Then locate one shoulder area. Starting from the edge, work slip stitches and chains inward to join. First attach yarn to the edge of one side of the front body. Pick up the approximate position along the edge for insertion. There are no specific requirements for the insertion position here. You can pick up the other side of the chain, or pick up the chain space, or the insertion point of the stitch pattern, as long as the positions roughly correspond. On my swatch, the position is arbitrary. Make a slip knot. Place it on the crochet hook. Pull through. Adjust slightly. Then make one beginning chain to start. Next, pick up the edge of the back body. Remember to insert from the front side. Pick up the corresponding approximate position. Work one slip stitch. Then work one chain as interval. Go back to the front side, and pick up the approximate corresponding position on the left side. Crochet a slip stitch. Then work one chain stitch. Pick up the approximate corresponding position on the back body again. Insert from the front side as well. Then crochet a slip stitch. After completing, work one chain as interval. Then continue picking up the approximate corresponding positions between front and back bodies. Work slip stitches, with one chain interval between each slip stitch. The chart indicates approximate stitch count and position here. You can use it as reference. Stitch count and position can also be adjusted according to actual situation. Just make sure the fabric lies flat after connecting. Continue connecting downward. Complete the last slip stitch position in the chart. Cut the yarn. Hide the yarn tail into the fabric. Now this side of the shoulder is connected. After connecting, the patterns on both sides should roughly correspond. Make sure the fabric lies flat. Continue connecting the other side using the same method. Now the shoulder connection is complete. Next, connect the body. The method is similar to shoulder connection. Still use slip stitches and chain stitches to connect. Match the wrong sides of front and back bodies. Then connect upward from the last row. First attach yarn to one edge. Chain one corresponding to the position. Then pick up and crochet slip stitches on the other side. Subsequently pick up corresponding positions to crochet slip stitches. Chain one between each slip stitch. Connection positions don't need to be exact. Roughly match them is fine. Pay attention to aligning patterns on both sides. Keep fabric flat while connecting pieces. Continue connecting until reaching the marked end point on the chart. Which is the connection stopping position? Complete with the last slip stitch. Cut the yarn and weave in the ends. Complete this part by yourself. Now the body connection explanation is done. Crochet the collar edge downward. Crochet one round along the neckline. I'll demonstrate using this swatch. Start from the shoulder connection position on one side. I begin crocheting from the front body here. Insert hook into adjacent gaps or holes to join yarn. No specific requirements here either. Pick approximately corresponding positions. Then make one beginning chain to start. Downward, pick chain spaces, or gaps along the edge. Insert hook and work single crochets with corresponding amount. When encountering foundation chain positions during this, pick up the other two strands of the chain, or insert hook into chain spaces underneath. Then make a single crochet. Continue crocheting until before the shoulder connection position on the other side. If you haven't woven in ends previously, you can weave in ends while crocheting as you go. My swatch stitch count and positions are arbitrary. Please refer to the pattern chart for specifics. When reaching corresponding positions, downward you need to work single crochet decreases. First pick gaps to the left. Work incomplete single crochets. Insert yarn over and pull through. This is the incomplete single crochet. Then skip the joining position. Pick gaps on the left side of the fabric piece. Work incomplete single crochets. There are 3 loops on the hook at this point. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Complete the single crochet decrease. Then continue to work the corresponding number of single crochets according to the chart. Keep crocheting until before the joining position on the other shoulder. When reaching corresponding positions, here you need to work single crochet decreases. Similarly, pick gaps at both ends of the connection. Work incomplete single crochets. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook in once. Complete the single crochet decrease. Now take a look at your fabric. Check if it lies flat after crocheting. If it's not quite flat, you can adjust the stitch count according to the actual situation. Adding or reducing a few stitches is fine, as long as the final fabric lies flat. Finally, join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Here the vertical braid on the left side is the beginning chain. Skip the horizontal braid on its left side. Is the stitch of the first single crochet? Pick up the stitch and work one slip stitch. Cut the yarn after completing. Collar edge. Hide the yarn tail on the wrong side of the fabric. Now the crocheting of the collar edge is finished. Next, crochet the cuff edge. The method is similar to the collar edge. Crochet one round along the cuff position. Join the yarn next to the previous body connection point. Then pick up the chain spaces, or gaps on the side edges of each row. Work the corresponding number of single crochets. When reaching the shoulder position, make corresponding single crochet decreases. Then continue to make corresponding single crochets. Keep crocheting until next to the connection point. Then check if the crocheted fabric is flat. Adjust according to the actual situation if needed. Finally, join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. The method has been demonstrated before. Just follow the pattern chart to complete it. At this point, the explanation for the cuff edge crochet is finished. Up to this point, the entire vest making process is completely explained. If there are still unclear parts during your crocheting process, don't hesitate to join our Facebook group to get supports. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.